the 38, Woerner to the 50. Oh, he hurdled a man, sideline. Charlie Woerner pulling down.
Woerner the catch.
Sliding grab, first down.
There's a few in here, Dad. There's a few in this hole.
Oh, yeah.
There's one right there.
To me, Tiger Creek is one of the prettiest creeks in the whole county. I had been coming to Rabun County my whole life. In fact, when Charlie killed his first deer here, I had actually killed my first deer in Rabun County, just down the road. When I was 16, we used to come up here and hunt. So Rabun County was very familiar with me.
The outdoors in general, fishing included, and then hunting, and especially turkey hunting in the spring, because I can't really deer hunt too much, but just getting outside, being able to do this, for me, just being in God's creation, it just slows me down and quiets the mind. I'm trying to catch trout, buddy.
Any sodas not coming to you?
They're trying. Daddy just hasn't caught them yet. Why am I not catching them?
Yeah.
They're just not quite taking the hook, buddy. That's why they call it fishing, not catching. You know what I mean? You're not gonna catch them every time.
I just think that being outside, I mean, I love it to this day, and I just think it's good for kids to be outside playing. I mean, you hear that all the time, and we live up here in a beautiful area.
Feel the water first. You too cold or no? Too cold?
Yeah, I want to get in the pool.
That was one of the reasons that we were attracted to this area, because there's so many pictures with us going down to the river or going hiking in the woods. We used to hike all the time. I just think it's part of something that I wish all kids had an opportunity to have, you know.
How do you not like getting your kids out to do this, you know? It's easier than taking them to a public park. Just take them out here. Got one, Henry. Henry.
He got one.
There we go. Oh, there we go. Got him, buddy.
He's gonna keep it. We're gonna eat it. Our first house was right over here, so this was a close place to come fishing. And we would always come over here and catch, not a lot of fish, but everybody catch one or two, you know, and if there's 4 or 5 of us catching 1 or 2, that was enough just to have a fun day. I came from a family of 5, 3 boys and 2 girls, and she came from a family of just one brother. And I think she wanted more because she wanted a big family, because that's something she had.
It wasn't even that. I just kind of planned the 4th and the 5th and et cetera like that, and it was exciting each time.
I think the neatest part of the Woerner family to me, every one of them are awesome in their own way, and every one of them are totally different. At church, if you had a Sunday night potluck, there better be plenty of food.
And then Mr. came along with, like, I see how his ears flip out. Yep, really big ears. He's got a pair of overalls on it now.
Or you got his nickname, Mr.?
Yeah.
I don't know how in the world he got. I think Mr., but you added Mr. to flip ears because you couldn't just say flip ears.
I did Mr. Flip Ears.
Lucy was a pretty good athlete too. She ran distance, she ran cross country and track.
And then Sally is the 5th who came along.
You had to stop and think about that.
No. But she ended up still being a very, very, very
Probably the best athlete in the family.
super mean.
I mean, for years and years and years, she could outrun Charlie.
Yeah.
And then one year, Charlie just, you know, he got that growth spurt
bigger.
and everything, got strong,
in
and
middle
he started
school,
outrunning her,
it
and
couldn't be
she got so mad. She said, "It's just not fair."
Yeah.
But that's all 7 of our children that we're very, very proud of.
Oh, they're in a good mood now or whatever.
Let me see one.
I just remember how I always put Punky and Fox together in a room, and you and Ellen shared a room. And then
Why did me and Alan share a room?
Because he was the oldest and you were the littlest.
So you could go.
We'll share a room. We'll share the bunks. I'll go on the top of the.
Now what is, I never saw that picture before.
I think it's at a field day or something.
Field day at South Raven?
It's one of the last times that Alan was able to do that.
This was a legendary.
That's a lot
Lucy,
of
do you remember
people.
doing this? No, you remember these?
I remember.
We used to always do the.
Sally got in there because you guys weighed too much. Alan's on the
Alan would hold all of us up, and I'd be at the very top. Henry, look at this, buddy.
You were just 5, right?
Yeah.
So
What kind of
I
cake is that?
unfolded
That's a
downstairs
cake, isn't
one
it?
day.
Daddy and Uncle Jack and Aunt Sally right there in the river. There's just so many sports pictures right here.
But I don't have any good action video. That's all the school.
That's cool. That's Sally. Yeah, Sally. Hey, Sally's 34. Everyone always wants to know, did my brothers beat me up growing up? Yeah, but Sally beat me up a lot too, because she was.
Oh, come on now.
She did.
She beat you on the
She beat the
track.
heck out of me.
I've heard these
And,
stories. I think there's a lot of.
Y'all didn't know what was going on
Place.
around here.
And even though I loved football and played football, I felt like we weren't going to let any of our boys play until they were 12 years old. Charlie's, I think he's really the only one we allowed to play recreational football.
And it was like.
And he was 6th grade.
And that was pushing it.
The whole county of Rabun County is a smaller county. I'm guessing there's 25,000 people in our entire county. We only have one public school in our school system. Any kid that is participating in Rabun County in sporting events, drama, whatever, they will get the support of this community.
We actually have a painting in Rabun County called Friday Night Lights because football is like like any small town, that's where everybody goes. Everybody shows up, even if they never had a kid play football.
They just come off the mountain
Everybody
to go.
goes
Basketball
to the games.
teams.
We have a little tradition here at Rabun County High School. When they win on this field, they ring this bell, and I think that's the perfect way to get this pep rally started. Guys, let's do it. Let's wake up the whole neighborhood. This is a big, heavy bell. It's going to take 5 of them. There you go. And the pep rally begins. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to go anywhere. Our High Five Sports Team of the Week, the Rabun County Wildcats, in your face. Coming up.
I mean, Charlie's hard to miss. When you're a high school student that's 6'5" and 225 and the best athlete and the highest character, you're well known. Coming out of 8th grade, going into high school, and that was the first time I really got to be on the field and got to help him and watch him. I told him at that time it was like the newborn colt that's born in Kentucky in the fields running, and you could say, okay, this thing's got the promise, it's going to be a Derby winner someday. He was athletic and he could do everything, and you knew it was going to be special.
You had 5 touchdowns on offense, you led the team in tackles. Just an all-around player as a freshman. It's really hard to see how you could improve your game any at all, but where do you feel like you've improved the most over the summer, and where would you like to still see even more improvement?
Over the summer, I've gained weight, so I've gotten stronger, but I mean, you can always get faster, you can never go wrong with that.
Charlie just turned out to be really fast. He was really fast for a kid his size. We needed a running back, so we moved him from end to running back, and he had to learn how to be a running back. And I can tell you, it's going from end to being a running back, that's a hard place to learn, but he became very, very good at it. And there were many, many games, even as a freshman, where he wouldn't come off the field. He made 29 tackles against Commerce one night.
That's when reality set in for me.
As a freshman.
Go to an away game, it's Commerce, he's a 14-year-old kid. And I'm like, he's never going to come off the field. Defense, offense, special teams, what?
Rabun County Wildcats came out firing on all cylinders. First play from scrimmage, sophomore Charlie Woerner is gone. I'm telling you, he's long gone. 73 yards to pay dirt in a quick 7-0 lead over Commerce.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, let's go.
Let me take you all the way way back. My father was my high school coach in South Georgia. He went to Rabun County to coach. The first time I ever went to Rabun County, I was a player at Georgia, and he gave me an address. Back then, you didn't have cell phones. You had to actually, find the address on the map, and it was in Tiger, Georgia. Fast forward, 10, 11 years later, I'm coaching in Alabama, and it's 2013, 14, and my dad retires, doesn't coach anymore, but he follows Rabun County. And he had talked about a really good young athlete there in town by the name of Charlie Woerner, which everybody knows Charlie's uncle, who played here, Scott Woerner.
Scott Woerner coming this way, touchdown, touchdown!
He was like my hero, or this great player. As the story goes, I'm at Alabama, and Coach Saban has a lake house at Lake Burton, which is in Rabun County. So now Nick has a tie, I have a tie, my father lives there, and Nick spends his summers there, and Charlie's a really good football player coming up. And everybody started to talk about Charlie.
Here in Athens for the first day of the Mark Rick 7-on-7 tournaments, a lot of talent here. To highlight today, obviously, Charlie Woerner, Rabun County 2016 prospect. The Georgia coaches were everywhere he was today. He's a big-time target, has offers from everybody in the country, 6'4", 235-pound tight end, wide receiver, hybrid guy, making all kind of plays.
Being in the state of Georgia, when you have a kid come up with that size and that speed, even being from small town, Tiger, Georgia, Rabun County, you try not to miss kids like that. And so he was on our radar early, and just knowing he was a legacy kid, we knew about Charlie pretty early on in the recruitment process.
Charlie was very different. He didn't want the accolades. He didn't enjoy the trips. He didn't like the red carpet treatment and the glitz and glamour from recruiting. He is just so different. He wanted to come to Georgia, and he knew what he wanted.
Made the visits easier. You didn't have to put up with any fluff. You just got right to the point and talked about football, because at the end of the day, he loves ball, and he loved Georgia, and you knew that.
And getting a kid like him, you were getting a great student, an academic kid that was committed to graduating, and he was a team player. I mean, he wanted to win for Georgia, and he almost didn't understand the kids we're recruiting now, how so many of them are transient and they go in the portal and leave, and he's like, I don't really understand that. It's just not, it's all out of his character.
From inside to outside, from the time will throw it to the tight end. It's caught by Woerner at the 38, Woerner to the 50. Oh, he hurdled a man, sideline. Charlie Woerner pulling down at the 21-yard line. Woerner got into the Chubb Act and hurdled a man.
When he first got here, that first camp, it was like, man, this guy's really talented. He's fast, he's big, he's athletic, and he was built to play the tight end position and really did a great job. I mean, he was one of the toughest kids we had here.
And the one thing that stuck out most about Charlie is, he was beat up. Just the way we use our tight ends and the way we practiced, he was a guy that just went through the trenches and gave everything he had, and just kept on chopping wood every day. He showed up, go to work every day despite how he felt, and that was the biggest influence he had on the other guys in that room, is they saw that Charlie wasn't at 100%, but he gave 100% every day.
I think as Charlie got more confident, Charlie grew, was a little bit more open to call people out as he got older, as he was in the program a little bit longer. If the expectation wasn't there, if the standard wasn't met by somebody, he'd encourage them, he'd confront them, and he'd ask that they do it the right way.
I've known Charlie my whole life. I got to be on the sideline as a ball boy when Charlie was in high school. I used to go and do summer workouts. My dad would drag me to them, and I wouldn't want to do them, but he would always stick me in a warm-up line with Charlie, and it'd always make me want to do it.
Since Gunner was coming along, it was like, watch how Charlie does this, watch how Charlie handles himself in different situations. So he was a great ambassador, leader, just a guy that we could take our son and say, hey, focus on his character and who he is as a person.
Heck, I always looked up to him.
Watching him develop more as like a leader on the team and just like understanding his role. In high school, Charlie played both sides of the ball. So it's like offense, defense, and going into UGA, he was kind of strictly like blocking tight end position. So I think that was kind of a learning curve, but he fell into the role so naturally. Like he's just a gritty athlete, and kind of like how he is as a person, he is as a teammate and a player. Of like, he's just himself. So he's going 100% every single time. And I think that that kind of transitioned to him as a blocker.
I'd say I think Coach Smart does a great job of kind of creating that culture of toughness here at Georgia. And if you put a picture, a face on what is toughness at that time, Charlie Woerner's face was the picture of that for Coach Smart, 100%.
I've coached some really good players, and I've coached a lot of first-round picks all the way through draft picks. Charlie probably impacted me more as a coach and a man than any player ever has. We would have meetings, and I called them growth meetings or exit meetings at the end of the year. You come in and you do a sheet and say, okay, here's your grades, here's how you played, what do you do in the summer, what are your plans, what's going on in your career, how can I help you? And Charlie would always have very good conversation with me, very grown-up adult conversation. And one day he just said, Coach, I got a question for you. He said, how are you? How are you doing? And I was just blown away. I was literally blown away that this kid who is, young man, 19, 20 years old, sees enough foresight to say, how are you doing? How is your family doing? As opposed to me checking in on him. And it just went a long way with me, and he taught me a lot as a coach, as a young coach.
I haven't been here in a while. So here's my old bedroom. Spent, 15, 20 years in here. Same bed, it's still broken right in the middle probably. A lot of track awards going on. Some of this is my brother's right here too. Me and my brother shared this room for a long time. My older brother Alan was kind of my big role model I always look up to, and he was great to coach me and to spend a lot of time with him. It was a lot of fun.
Track medals, all those little meets you go to, ton of track stuff and whatnot. So
we got this one. I won third place at a fishing competition when I was really young. I always loved that one. A lot of these are some rec league basketball. Let's see. This is also rec league football. Much of those. This was when I won state and discus when I was I think I won when I was a senior, right before I got to UGA. Here's old high school jersey that's torn. I was 34. I couldn't be 34 at UGA because of Herschel Walker, so I had to choose a new number.
Meanwhile, we move on to the 49ers selection, and it's Charlie Woerner, the tight end, Daniel, out of Georgia.
Yeah, and a lot of these tight ends, Trey, you're hoping you can get some just willingness in the run game. Charlie Woerner is outstanding as a run blocker. You can run right behind him at the point of attack. You can also play him off the ball. You use him on wham blocks. They'll use him to crash and do a lot of different things.
He did everything right at UGA. I mean, he went there and earned his stripes and fought his tail off. To be drafted, no matter who it was, we immediately became San Francisco 49ers fans.
When that draft day came and we were all excited, his whole family was there, my family was there, and his name got called. And, well, he got a call, his phone didn't work, and so he got another call and his phone still didn't work, and then I got a call from a California number and realized the Niners were the next pick. And I said, Charlie, should I answer this? He's like, yeah, answer it. So I handed it to him, and they were like, Charlie, we've been trying to draft you. Like, where have you been? And he comes out there, we're playing in the driveway with like his nieces and nephews. And we're like, we're going to California. And his family's like, you're going to San Francisco. And it just seemed so big, but not real at the same time.
49ers.
49ers?
Wow.
never forget Charlie coming to me after his junior year and said, "Coach, do you think I can play in the NFL?" Then after his fourth year, his final year, he's going to he said, "Do you think I'll be drafted? Do you think I'm good enough to play?" Like, I don't think he doubted it. I think he questioned it some, but it was like, in my mind, it was a no-brainer. I was like, not only are you going to play, you're going to play for a while.
Charlie had all the qualities that maybe the outward fan didn't see. Like, he was in the trenches. He was blocking and putting his face on people and finishing people to the ground and pass protecting. And then his special teams value was unbelievable. So in this building, we knew Charlie was going to make it because those NFL personnel, they don't just value production. They value you being an all-around tight end. And Charlie had the characteristics to be an all-around tight end.
To the outside edge and taken down at about the 34-yard line.
Mullins throwing, easy completion. That's Charlie Woerner, his first catch. Rookie tight end out of Georgia. Fake the handoff, find Woerner again, he'll lower the shoulder.
It was 2020 in California. We're very isolated. We had no idea what we were doing, no idea how the NFL life worked. It's a lot to come into the NFL, and especially the 49ers, how they run things. It was very regimented and a lot of information to gather. So it just being the two of us was huge because we just had to focus on one another. I think that helped us through him navigating the NFL and him coming home sometimes and be like, okay, that's it. Like, we need to pack the bags. I dropped a ball at practice today. Like, we're done. We're done. And he also had the locker next to the locker that just rotated constantly. Like, guys getting cut, guys coming and going. And so it was like almost every week there was a new guy there. And so that's kind of a humbling thing to see, like, how quickly it can end for somebody. We had Henry, which was just the most amazing, humbling, joyful experience ever. And I just, like, I can visualize him, Charlie, just holding his son and looking down at him, just like, this is beautiful. And he looked down at him and cried. And he just thought, like, can I do this? Like, again, I just moved my wife and my child out here. What does my job security look like? I made the team, but at the same time, week to week is a different game. And I just told him, I was like, look, we're gonna be fine. Like, you do your best at work. Again, like, God's written the story. Just do your best and everything else is gonna fall into place. So, new league year, he's taking phone calls from his agent, just going through that crazy process. It was reassuring, affirming how many teams were interested. We're in the driveway of our house in Athens, Georgia. We see Henry, like, playing with his construction right in the front yard. And we're like, this is home. Like, our prayer has been to be closer to family, to be a part of an organization that is going somewhere and that can do big things.
I'm so excited. What's up, man? What are you doing? Who's this? Henry. Come here, dude. Come here, Henry. Yeah, how big is it? You're heavy, man.
And looking back now, Charlie didn't realize how big of a Falcons fan he was growing up, but we were, like, looking through family albums and photos and stuff like that, and how many times he had, like, a Falcons shirt on, or his mom would gift him and his brother Falcons tickets and stuff. Tony Gonzalez played for the Falcons, and that was one of his, like, first role models as a blocking tight end, like a big body like him.
I can't honestly say I look back and I dreamed. I didn't have a lot of confidence, to be honest with you, growing up, that I was ever gonna make it or to go play big time football. I was a big Georgia fan and a Falcons fan, but never thought it would be possible. To me, I enjoyed being a kid. I was, always doing something with my siblings, playing sports, and I feel like I just enjoyed the process once it started. Once I started to figure out, oh, hey, you're kind of good at this game. You're in high school. You're starting to get recruited. Oh, hey, we're committing to Georgia. We're doing this thing. Hey, you might have a chance in the NFL. Like, now, boom, 4 years in the Niners and back at the Falcons. It's just so thankful for the Lord and how He's blessed me in this journey.
Hey, buddy, you got a flag? Are you waving it? I love you so much, okay? Hey, take care of Mama and Aunt Bailey, okay? Okay, be sweet to them.
Guys,
I love you so much, okay? Have fun.
I think a lot of people don't get this opportunity in the NFL. The NFL can take you from team to team every single year. All the pieces just fell together. The fact that Henry gets to run on the field after games with his cousins and his aunts and uncles and his grandparents, we're just so excited that we get to experience that as a family.
If Charlie would have been drafted by the Toronto Argonauts, we would have been cheering for the CFL, you know. I mean, we were so ecstatic for him. The fact that he found success also in the NFL is no surprise to any of us. I mean, you know, that prototypical tight end, I mean, is that 6'5", 240-pound guy that can run good and has athletic ability. Well, there's a ton of those guys, but there's not a bunch of Charlies.
Right here. Yeah, y'all are gonna start there and then rotate, okay?
I feel like it's truly a gift and a privilege to grow up in a small town. Especially Rabun, it was just, you know, beautiful up in the mountains in North Georgia, being able to be outside all the time, going hunting and fishing. Backing up to my house, backed up to 15,000 acres of public land, so you could just take off and go.
I can definitely.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think
It's just
so?
the people are awesome. People in the mountains are special, and every time I go back home, it just feels right. You know, driving on those curvy roads in the mountains always feels right.
I don't think the NFL, being in the NFL, has changed him from what he was in middle school, high school, college, and now. I mean, he's still pretty much the same person, you know, and that's good, because a lot of times you see people change.
What's awesome about Charlie is, like so many people have said, that he's always himself. And you either like it or you don't, take it or leave it. And I love how it translates to in the locker room, on and off the field. Like, he's always himself. And for me, like, he is my rock, he's my stability. And I think that a lot of other people find that in him as well.
I've had a lot of people that have known Charlie during all those ages say, you know, he's the same person. And I think, I don't know, I think that's what people want to see, you know, is don't forget, you know, don't forget where you came from.
Where are they swimming at? Where? Let me put a worm on it for you.
What is that?
This is Daddy's pole.
What is it have on it?
Just a little jig. I see him.
I need to catch them.
You need to catch him?
My grandfather taught my father to fish, and my father taught me to fish, and I started having boys, and they got old enough to start fishing. I started taking them.
We used to just fish all the trout streams around Rabun County all the time. I remember being 6 or 7 and you'd come wake us up at 4 a.m. or whatever. Reel, remember? Remember how to reel? Reel.
I'm gonna get a one.
Reel. You got one? Keep reeling, keep reeling. Oh, you got him, buddy. Here,
You got him.
Now. All right, you want that line up?
I got it. I got it.
There he is, you got him.
I got one.
Oh yeah.
I'll see him out in the street playing with his kid, and you know, it's like it's just, you can tell it means so much to him to be a good father. He comes from such a good, solid family, and he's got a beautiful wife who's an athlete here, and so I mean, like, he gets it. He has his priorities in order, and that probably makes me more proud than anything he does leadership-wise.
I got one.
Henry's slaying him over here. Henry, how many fish have you caught?
3.
You've caught 3 fish already?
I need to catch some more.
You want to catch some more? You like going fishing, don't you?
I do.
Mm-hmm. You're a good fisherman.
I know.
There are lots of kids here that literally probably have not been a 100-mile radius outside of Rabun County. And, you know, for Charlie to be somebody that's so looked up to and so cherished of who he is and what he represents for Rabun County, to know that he can do it, gives them the strength and the courage to be able to follow a dream as well.
Lots of books about me.
You have lots of books about me? Wow.
My favorite football player.
Yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
My cousin plays football just like you.
Does he? Is he? How old is he?
9.
9. Nice. Do you play football yet?
Yeah. What number are you?
I'm 89. I was number 34 for Rabun County though.
That's my number.
I know that's your number.
Play high school ball in the state, and to play college ball in the state. Now you're playing your professional ball in the state. That is an amazing opportunity, really an accomplishment that not many people have done before.
Everybody wants limelight, everybody wants to be front and center in today's world. All Charlie wants to do, he wanted to be the best Rabun County football player possible for his teammates at Rabun County. He went to Georgia, he wanted to be the best player that possible for the University of Georgia. He went to San Francisco, same thing, and now he's with the Falcons. And I can promise you, the only thing he cares about is being the best representative he can for the Atlanta Falcons.
Good job, B.
Hell yeah, Charlie.
Let's go.
Come on, baby. Come on.
It's realizing a dream. I mean, it's like a childhood dream.
Let's go.
You care more. You have more passion about the hallways around here, about the stands. And he loves the Falcons organization, and he loves being in Georgia. He is a Georgia kid through and through.
Charlie Woerner. Charlie Woerner, pull it down. Woerner to the 50. Oh, he hurt him, man.
It's not a place that you're just passing through. It's a place you're going to be a part of forever.